chicken,
ribs,
brisket,
pork butt. Seymour has some of the best cooks in the Midwest out here this weekend. It is going to be a tough fight all the way to the finish.
Most of my teams this year, almost all of them are from Missouri.
Frank from down in Joplin is on our team with us. Him and I make up Smokin' Frank's. And then Derek Colvin here in Rolla, the owner of New Way Plumbing. He's also on our team, and you know, Gabe fits in there too when he can. So it's a good time. Recently we went down to Seymour, Missouri, and April from the Chamber of Commerce down there has a competition called Rockin' Freedom. We went down there and cooked along with 47 other teams, and you know, it's a really good community event. You go down there, they got a carnival going on at the same time. It draws people out, and a lot of those teams are from Operation Barbecue Relief. So we got to spend a lot of time with our friends there, and I think we cooked 18th place chicken and beat Mo Cason, and can't remember the other places right offhand, but it's a lot of fun. You know, we cook some good barbecue and have a good time with our friends.
Basically, the environment and being involved with this is very addicting. I started 4 years ago, and the camaraderie and the cooks, and I mean, it's a great environment to be a part of and to network with.
We cook the normal competition meats, which are chicken, ribs, pork butt, and brisket. We do in fact inject our brisket and our pork butts. What that does is it allows us to get more moisture into the meat and flavor during the cook process. And when you're injecting a brisket, especially sometimes pork butts, the injection tends to go everywhere, so you got to kind of be careful. Not only do we inject our brisket and our pork butt, we also have to do a lot of other stuff to meat, like put rubs on. Some of the ways we got to prep meat, for instance, chicken is the worst. It takes like 10 hours for us to prep our chicken. We do a lot of stuff like scraping skin, trimming the fat down. You know, it takes a long time to trim up those, you know, 12 different, we cook like 12 to 24 pieces of chicken just so we can serve 6. Another thing you got to be careful for is, like, if you put a toothpick in a piece of chicken and you cook that piece of chicken, you got to make sure and pull all the toothpicks out. If you leave a piece of toothpick in, or they find a piece of foil on brisket or something, that's a foreign object, and so they'll disqualify you. KCBS, you don't have to use a garnish in your turn-in box like lettuce or parsley, but if you don't, you're going to lose. Since I've been in the refrigeration food equipment industry my whole life, I wanted to start building my own smokers. And so basically I started researching on these forums that were on the internet, and I discovered a certain kind of a smoker called a reverse flow smoker. It's the most even cooking smoker there is. I've never seen one that cooks more even. So given my background and some of the people that work for me, we basically got together and I started building one, and with the information that I learned on the internet. And I came up with my own way of building that smoker and my own tuning to that smoker to make it balanced properly. Most other forums are food oriented, not build oriented, and I had a passion for the building side. I decided basically to start my own set of forums at smokerbuilder.com. At first it started out as a blog, and I was just interested in teaching other people how to build smokers. And some of my friends from the other forums I got involved in, they wanted to get in on the build side, so I started our smokerbuilder.com forums. And since then, we've grown to in excess of 800 members. That's been on the air for about a year. There's people all over the world, Australia, Germany, Great Britain, you know, all over the place, Canada, and a lot of people from Texas. Since websites are very expensive, I started taking my expertise and designing custom cookers for other people on blueprints. So I started another website called smokerplans.net, and on smokerplans.net, anybody has a propane tank, whatever size it is, or a piece of pipe, or whatever they want to build a cooker out of, they can contact me directly either through that website or call me on my phone number, and I draw custom AutoCAD blueprints for them to build their own smoker, and it'll be tuned to my design. During the tornado down in Joplin, I got a friend down there, Frank, we call him Bubba. His house, he lost his house and his mom lost her house, and we went down there just to kind of help him get back on his feet, you know. And on Facebook there's a lot of chatter about competition barbecue teams and people that know competition barbecue teams going down there to cook and feed volunteers, feed people that didn't have any food, things like that. And so basically, while I was down at Frank's helping him, you know, moving him around and helping him clean up stuff and cooking for his family, we went on over there and joined up with them and was cooking. A lot of these guys didn't know each other. You know, like Lee Keith and a lot of the other guys, Will Cleaver, Stan Hayes, Jeff Stith, all them guys, I didn't know any of them people. And so basically Frank and I went over there and to help cook, and they welcomed us in. I brought my cooker down there, brought some donations that people around in Rolla had given me, some bread and some different things like that I brought down there to help out with. And while we were down there, it built up a camaraderie between us, and it's almost like we were brothers.
Operation Barbecue Relief is really the barbecue community coming together. After a Joplin tornado a little over a year ago, Jeff Stith and myself got together and decided to go down to Joplin and try to help those that needed help. And we figured, you know, our skills in barbecue, sitting up in a parking lot with limited resources, could benefit them. And so we went ahead and started putting the word out to the barbecue community and started finding a location and just went on a whim, really. We had a company called OK Foods out of Fort Smith, Arkansas that brought up 60,000 pounds of pre-cooked chicken meat. And some of that we gave to churches that had, you know, facilities and shelters that had facilities. And we cooked, you know, probably 50,000 pounds of it. But, you know, we got another 10,000 pounds of pork shoulders from Sam's Club. So between those two, that was our primary meat source in Joplin.
Sam's Club has been very generous and helpful ever since Joplin. They donated over 8,000 pounds of pork, among other things, to us to cook in Joplin, vegetables and so forth, canned goods and so forth. And then they even came out with some meat. They said, here, cook this up for your volunteers that are helping you.
Farmers Insurance is one that helped us get started. It's a company I work for, and they helped us set up. They gave us tents, and they gave us power, and they gave us a lot of stuff when we were in Joplin. And since then, we've teamed up with them in a few other states in Michigan and Illinois.
We basically started using Facebook and other social media to round up probably 200 to 250 cooks, competitive cooks from around the country. They came in and helped us serve meals down there, and we were really successful with it. We ended up serving about 120,000 meals in 11 days to tornado victims, first responders, and volunteers. And basically, it just kind of gave us the idea to carry it forward nationally.
Be a nationwide organization that could respond immediately after a devastating event, whatever it would be, fires in Colorado, floods, from hurricanes, whatever happens, that we could mobilize.
We've been in 8 additional states since then, doing disaster relief work, primarily from tornadoes, but we had a big flooding up in central Pennsylvania. And so in our first year of operation as Operation Barbecue Relief, we've done about 150,000 meals in nine different states. We got about 500 people signed up on our website. They can go in and register to volunteer or just to get our newsletter to find out updates and everything. Just go to www.operationbbqrelief.org, and there's a volunteer link, and they can go in and get more information.
And on that website, there are buttons and stuff like PayPal donate buttons, and there's also information about how to become a founding member. If you wanted to join in a relief effort, it also explains on there how to join up. You don't have to be a competition barbecue team. Matter of fact, you don't even have to know how to cook. I spent a great deal of my time just simply moving boxes and pallets, and I think we moved like, 2,700 pounds of chicken. We had donated, it was all frozen chicken breasts that we donated to Duquesne which is a city that is right next to Joplin that also got hit at the same time, and we donated that to the fire department down there. So we moved a lot of chicken and stuff like that. You could go deliver meals. There's tons of different things that volunteers can do. If we wanted to do a competition here in Rolla, which one day I hope we do, it's a great community event, and it always benefits a charity of some kind.